Hello once again, YouTube. This has been Macintosh, back for another round of DVD reviews. Now, I have a lot to catch up on, so definitely trying to rush through these videos to get caught up to where I am now, because I gotta go back, jog my memory from a couple weeks ago and remember these flicks. Because it's hard to remember the names and all the events. Mostly the names, because I know actors better than I do names right now. But the double feature I'm reviewing today, which I'm only reviewing one of them on here, the other one you're going to have to ask me to do later. I'm reviewing the Sandlot 2 off the Sandlot double feature. And Sandlot 2 is based in the 70s, where David and his friends are the usual kind of Sandlot boys, and Smalls' his younger brother, who is like the rocket science kid who's friends with Haley and her two girlfriends, who are they want to play with the boys. So it's like, first it starts off as a boy versus girl rivalry with David and Haley, who kind of like each other, but they don't want to tell each other. It's your usual 6th grade drama. But they have a common love of baseball, and when they defeat a little league team, they get to keep the Sandlot. And they're using Sandlot, and it goes off with narration, a good little Sandlot baseball stuff going on. They're going to the fair, and you kind of see at the fair though that David's got this thing he's hiding, because he always pulls up his sock, and he's weird around dogs. And if you're in the Sandlot and you don't like dogs, you're gonna be in for a surprise. And they actually hear the story after they lose a baseball over there. None of them have been there that long. So Mac, when he gets a metal bat, knocks the ball over the fence, and when they go to get it, Smalls is like, you guys can't go back there. Apparently there's a new dog who's been eating kids called the Great Fear. The Great Fear is a bigger version of Goliath, one of Goliath's offspring. And I guess the kids never heard from Smalls' older brother that the dog is really undangerous, like my dog right over here, who is just wandering around on my bed. Now, these kids lose the ball. No one cares. Well, younger Smalls, Haley's dad's a rocket scientist. He launches a model rocket, and it goes over the fence. Now they got to get that back, because it's supposed to be like top of the art government stuff that they just lost. And so they freak out, and they current Sandlot stuff, they try everything. Nothing works. A cat gets mutilated, and this kid called the Retriever gets thrown way over the Sandlot into a pool, which I didn't think made a lot of sense, but happened. There's definitely some weird stuff happens in the Sandlot. And it kind of does follow the first film's setup. It was a good sequel for that. But it definitely added its own instrument. And it also had really good 70s style in a movie, The Great Escape, which is referenced. Came out then. So it definitely stuck with its 70s theme. And, David and Haley get closer and closer and closer. And everybody in the Sandlot gets closer and closer and closer. And they actually have a deaf kid in here, and that's very surprising, because you usually don't have a deaf actor in a movie like this. But it ends up being like the perfect pairing. Well, finally, in like their last-ditch effort, kind of like Benny in the first film, David turns out to be the kid attacked in the story of The Great Fear. Dressed up like the Red Rocket again, gets on Nikes this time, runs, grabs the rocket, runs, well then the dog knocks over the fence, and they continue to have this chase, and during the chase, David gets ahead of him, and then when he runs and jumps and falls through a foxhole that they had dug, and he's buried, and the dog digs, gets him out of there. Turns out the dog's a really nice dog. Had a bad rep. Well, they go up and knock on James Earl Jones from the first movie, James Earl Jones, his door. And since they broke his wall, he's not going to put up any wall. He gets to watch them play in the Sandlot like the first one, and they're going to walk his dog. He pretty much gives them the same thing. He's like, you know what, this happens like every 10 years, so, same thing. I'm going to want the same thing, because I have a lot of dogs. It's pretty much what happens. And it turns out the reason why the Great Fear wanted to get out so much, his name was really Goliath, David versus Goliath, but he had a girlfriend and they made puppies. That was the basis of that. And at the usual Sandlot storyline, they all go their separate ways, and you get to hear what happened to them after the Sandlot. The weirdest one was the black kid gets abducted by aliens. I was like, of course the black guy gets abducted by aliens. He never survives any movie, not even the Sandlot. But yeah, this is a movie for everybody and anybody, kids, teenagers, adults. It's a great family movie. Definitely check out The Sandlot 2 and its original, The Sandlot. This has been a Ben McIntosh review. Signing off to you now. Have a great night.